Here we go. March 11th, 2026. And this is the last day of our spring. Yeah, spring doesn't really start here till next month. So when we get them, when spring really starts to kick in. We had what you call a fake spring for about a week, maybe a week and a half. And the bees have been out flying. We've been getting up into the 70s, and things are looking okay for now, but we still got to get through March into April until the pollen starts coming in, and the nectar, which is not coming in just yet. I know other parts of New York are getting nectar and pollen, but it hasn't really started here yet, central New York. I've been feeding the bees pollen substitute out in the open about 50 yards behind me. And they've been hammering it for about 3 or 4 days now. They've just been all over it. So I quickly looked at these hives on Monday. Today is Wednesday. So I went through, I didn't really take that one apart. I went more into this one here, looking at stuff, and they ate more honey in here than they did in there, but there's more bees in there than there is in here. So yeah, they used more honey in this hive with less bees than they used in this hive with more bees. I don't know. But this is also a Layens setup in here. Even though the box to my, I'll show you when we go in, it looks like it is Langstroth equipment, but I have it set up for a Layens. So today's the last day of this. After today, winter comes back. We've got rains, we've got storms, we've got high wind, we've got snow, we got teens, even down to the single digits possibly at night towards early next week. So, since I started feeding them pollen substitute, we're not going to stop. I made some patties. We're going to put a patty in here and a patty in the other hive. And of the same ingredient, but I've got it mixed with 1-to-1 sugar water to make the patty, and I've got it wrapped in parchment paper. It's a little different when you're going to feed patties or do any top feeding in a Layens hive, because as you know, in a Layens hive, the frames are together. But we're going to crack open the frame, or 2 frames, just enough for the bees to come up through to get to the patties if they want it. We're not going to do any harm in doing that. There's not going to be any crooked comb or whatever they call it, foul comb. Nothing like that's going to happen. We only expect to be doing this for about a week to 2 weeks before we can come back in, take them off if they haven't eaten all of it, and go back to the external pollen feeding. So yeah, they're going to be cooped up in here. Today's the last day they're going to fly for at least 1 to 2 weeks, maybe more. Our maples have not started here yet. Pretty soon willow and poplar will start blooming here. And I've got no crocuses in the yard here, but I hear crocuses are up in the area and the bees are visiting them. Whether I have skunk cabbage across the street, the beaver ponds, I don't know. But skunk cabbage is up now, and a lot of bees are pollinating off of it. They love skunk cabbage. It's the first plant to come up, basically, in the winter. And it'll bust through ice, and it'll bust through the snow to come up, and then when it blooms, opens up, the bees can get in and get their pollen. So, we're going to go in this hive. We're not really going to do a deep dive inspection. I just want to get in here, get it kind of rearranged. I know there's a honey frame that's up in here that they're really not utilizing. And I've got to make some adjustments here. So, these bees weren't so bad on Monday. They're pretty much gentle. Weren't giving me a hard time. The next hive's a totally different story. It's getting pretty warm out here. Now this hive is loaded with bees. You see I got wood shavings up here to catch any moisture, but they're They're bone dry. They've been there all winter long. Underneath the wood shavings, I got a insulation board, which is above the frames. I tried to go through this hive the other day, and pretty much impossible. We've got honey on most of these frames, but the thing I want to do is get the pollen patty on, or protein. So I'm going to crack. When I crack some of these here in the middle where most of the population is, they're going to come out. This is the way the hive is coming into the spring here. Very crazy, very, very spicy. The other day they were mostly concentrated into here. So I just want to kind of crack this open a little bit to where they can come up in here, and I'm going to put the patties right up on top over the seam that's open. These top bars touch. We have 11 in here, 11 laying frames that fit in here nice and snug. They overwintered very well. And when I put the pollen patties down, I got a spacer I'm going to put on, and then I'll put the insulation back on top. So let's see if they behave today like they did on Monday. I didn't really get to take this hive apart. But both hives are bringing in the pollen substitute. They're packing it in both hives, so. I'll try to get these close as I can. Kind of space it a little closer. This hive here is going to have to be split as soon as the queen starts laying. Give them 3 rows to come up in if they want. happy. I got an entrance back here I want to plug up because I have all that protein. I want robbers coming in. Well, that's that.